My name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. Today I should like to speak to you about what a Christ is and what a Satanist is. You see, primarily that is the question that has existed in the human race since the beginning of time. We are all looking to see, to find out, to answer the question, who am I? What is my purpose for existence on this plane of existence on Earth, this planet? That question has been at the heart of every self-inquiry of individuals who are seeking to understand life itself. You see, life is not known. The idea of life is known. The illusion of life has been drummed into us, and we believe that that is what life is. On the contrary, we are living in an illusion. Life as we know it, civilized life on this earth, is merely an illusion, a myth, an idea of the intellectual mind. If you have followed my writings and my videos, you will understand that we are possessed of two minds: the subconscious mind, the mind of non-duality, and the Satanistic ruled, trained, indoctrinated, intellectual mind. We do not live a balanced life. If you are conditioned, if you are indoctrinated, if you are a believer, you are an unbalanced human being. You are no longer a living man or a woman, a holistic entity, a creation that is God. That is who you are when you live in the balance of your subconscious mind, the non-dualistic mind, and the dualistic split mind of opposites, the mind of conscience. If you have a conscience, you are satanic. Shocking, isn't it? You're reeling back at that, aren't you? What is he talking about? Who is this guy? What gives him the authority to say these things that go against everything that you believe in? Your faith. You're worshiping. You all worship false idols, false gods. You worship words. You worship ideas. Early in my making of videos, I made a video in two parts called The Nobody and the Somebody, the Christ and the Christian. I suggest that you all search for and watch those two videos on my website, arkenterprises.com, and pay attention, for it is the root of everything that I have spoken to you of in these past 25 years. You'll find that what I have to say to you has not changed in those 25 years. What does that tell you? It tells you that I'm speaking to you the truth. For truth does not change. The ideas that one may hold about truth change all the time. And that's the world of the satanic, indoctrinated ego. That is the consciousness of each and every one of you. Now, who am I? I'm a nobody. Plain and simple, I have no ego. Now, that you will cause you to indicate that you're upset, for I appear to be all ego. What that is your ego being projected upon this mirror of truth. This nobody, this infinite nothing of a human being. Now, I said something interesting. Infinite nothing. For only in limitlessness can one find the infinite. And the only thing that is beyond limitation is no thing. That's the Christ state of consciousness. That is the egoless man, Jesus of Nazareth. A simple man, a simple carpenter, learned that in solitude of his time in the desert. And he came back to civilizations to share that with family, friends, and all those who would listen to him. Not much different from this living Christ. I'm a loner. I've left family. I left background to start a new life with my wife, who's now deceased. And she was a wonderful woman. 49 years together. I could not have found a better mate. That was my blessing. She balanced me off with the world. She was much more sociable than I am. For I am no thing. I am what is. I have no personality as such, because personality is merely ego, a mask that one wears, that one speaks and acts through, based on repetitive actions that define what that person is. And so there's power in that. But it's the power of hell. You all live in hell. I live in hell with you, but I'm not affected by it, because I'm no thing. You're all somebodies. And that's who is upset. You have to be somebody to be upset. That's your ego being picked, pointed out to you, and you don't like it one bit. So you react. That reaction is your life. Now, my life has been pretty smooth sailing. Just about everyone who reads of my background would think that I'm lying to you, because I am besought by endless problems, endless challenges. But those are all challenges to the ego. And I have learned my lessons. And I have retained this sense of no thing, which is infinite, unbounded. That is the essence of the subconscious mind. I speak and I act from the subconscious mind, but I speak to you about it, and I must use the dualistic intellect in order to communicate. And therefore, you're hearing it from your dualistic consciousness, which is the consciousness of hell. And so you project your own thoughts, your reactive thoughts to me, and you say, I have a grand ego. Certainly, I am beyond the scope of your ego, your limited ego, your limited beliefs. And that angers you. And it presents the attack that I'm an egotist. That's so. I am the absolute opposite of that. I'm a nobody, a nothing. And that's beyond your conscious grasp. You cannot live with that. And so, any such comment of that by me goes by the wayside. You don't believe it. And it angers you even more. Because you believe that you have been exposed for your limitations, and you have. But you too are a nobody, an infinite spirit, which transcends the symbol of the body, the material body, and the intellect, the mind that operates. Both are carnal. Both are limited and the tools of hell, of separation, of division, of anger, of opposition. Look at your politicians. Look at the world that they have created. Look at the political fanatics that go on attacking each other. What they are egos, attacking other egos in reaction, in forever reaction to each other. And so it comes to a point of absolute insanity. There is no cooperation, there is competition, there is anger, frustration, there are wars, there are killings, there's crime. All those are opposing satanic forces that you accept to be normal. That is proof of your satanic disposition. And when a nobody comes along, the Christ, a man of non-dualistic consciousness of what is, says to you, that is not the way. The way is the truth. The way is love. And that can only be grasped by the subconscious mind. Now, for those of you who think that I am just blowing smoke, I invite you to visit my website, arkenterprises.com, and read my writings and watch my videos. Am I different? You bet. You have never met another man like me in your lifetime, but you have met our other egos. You have never met a nobody, and that's what this living Christ is. And so he is protected from the somebodies, the limited egos, the laws of man, the laws of Satan, of duality. They have no power over me. I have proven that. They tried to put me away for 40 years, went to 2 trials. They convicted the person, the representative that they created, the idea of me, through birth certification. That's not a real man. That's just an image, a ghost, a dead idea, not even a living man. You understand? And that's what the courts of your land have jurisdiction over. Living, dead persons. They have no jurisdiction over you, the living man or woman. And I have proven that. They convicted the defendant, the person that they claimed to be me, even though I challenged them from the very beginning to prove their jurisdiction, and they refused to. When they convicted that person, after threatening a 40-year term, at the time of sentencing, I just refused to accept the sentence. They said, no way. You haven't proven jurisdiction over me, the living man. They cut me loose. They didn't change all of the tripe that they put on the record as far as the convictions and what have you. That still stands. That's the lie. That's the fraud, the deception. But am I talking to you from prison? I'm a free man. I have proven that freedom, that sovereignty. They play with the word sovereignty, and they create confusion in your minds. They confuse the hell out of you, and you fear them. You fear stepping before the court, who has control of the language that only confuses you further and gives them jurisdiction through your doubt. They have no power over an honest, truthful, living man. That's the point I'm trying to make. Oh, they haven't given up on me. They've tried subsequently to trap me. I presently have, in the way of liens and the agent principal theme of the law, liens and damages in the amount of $161 million. They're trying to collect thousands of dollars from me from the court expenses. They cut me loose. They were wrong. They cut me loose. They freed me, which indicated that the whole arrest was a fraud to begin with. And yet they are now trying to extort money from me. Thousands of dollars. Well, I've got liens that I haven't moved on for $161 million, and we'll trade that off, should they move on me. Now, what's the problem with that? Why haven't I moved on it? Because my plan, my understanding of life is to follow God's law. Do no harm, tell no lies. So I haven't moved on any of the $161 million. What am I going to do with all that money? It's impossible. I have a roof over my head. I have all the money that I need with your help, with your donations and what have you, your support. And that will lead you to your own self-understanding of the truism of being a nobody, of living your life in balance. Have a roof over your head, food to eat, a way of supporting yourself and maintaining your dignity, That's all anyone needs. Everything else beyond that is greed. And the world is full of those people. And they're called your leaders. They're called your politicians. They're called your priests. They're called your bankers. They're called your corporate leaders. Understand? Greed. Money. Your money. What is money? Money is the symbol of your personal energy, encapsulated into the idea of money. And they seek to strip you of that. That's what you're doing. You're consenting to their destruction of you. They regard you as a slave, as a non-human being, as property of the state. And until the day that you die, they will strip you of your energy through money. They will impoverish you. They will strip away all your dignity to the point where you feel life is not worth living. And some of you will take your own lives. That's how dumb you are as egos. You can't escape life. You are life. You are eternal. What you see as this life is merely a temporary state of consciousness on your part, where you believe. But it's all images. It's all illusion. You're joyous when someone is born into this hell, and you mourn, and you cry, and you stumble when one dies, when one is released from this hell, this state of consciousness. It's how backward you are. Death is a release, a temporary release, because if you have not learned the lesson of who you are, you're coming back. That's called reincarnation. Oh, you want to argue with me? Go right ahead. Kind of tough to argue with a nobody, isn't it? That's what I'm here to tell you, to show you, to describe to you, to display to you how to be a nobody in a world of somebodies, all trapped in their own personal hell. Keep watching. Keep watching. I will not move on anyone. I will not harm anyone. I will not lie to anyone. However, I am perfectly protected by infinite protection of truth. If they come after me, they are met with their own laws. And I have $161 million worth of their laws, which point out the fact that come after me if you will, but pay the consequences. Leave me alone, like every one of you want to be left alone. But I know how to do it, and I'm talking to you for the past 25 years about it, and you rejected. How dumb can somebody be? Well, I live in a world of somebodies. Take it for what it's worth.